Hey everyone, it's Coach Mark. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing morning. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, got an opportunity to spend time with your family, your friends, or even if you spent time by yourself, you enjoyed it. Whatever you did, you had a great time with it. So today, as I was really thinking about what would I talk about on this video that I do every single week, I started watching, I started listening to some entrepreneur interviews, an interview series with a bunch of successful entrepreneurs that all had companies. I think it was about 10 different interviews. And to be a part of this interview series, your company had to be worth at least 100 million. So it was companies that were somewhere in 100, 200 million, all the way up to the billions. And as I listen to these people, because one of the things that I do and I pride myself on is that I study success. Okay, I study success. I say this all the time. If you've ever listened to any of my weekly calls or any of my videos, one of my mentors told me something that completely changed my life. If you want to be successful, all you have to do is just do what successful people do. And as simple as that sound, that was like almost like a lot. That was just so profound to me, right? So ever since then, I was doing it before, but like ever since then, I've just been like adamant about watching every video, every documentary, every interview of like super successful people. Only people that have the results in life that I want. I don't really spend too much time watching other people. I've probably spent too much of my life watching people that don't have the results that I want. So I really focus a lot of my time in watching successful people that have the results that I want. And not necessarily just money alone. It could be in all different areas. Maybe they have a level of mastery in an area that I want to be a master in. So I will study them. Maybe it is because they have some other area of their life. It's not always just about money, but I highly suggest that you follow people or you watch people that have the results in life that you want in whatever area that may be. You may want to be a gourmet chef, right? So you're not going to learn how to become a gourmet chef by watching someone that works at the local diner, right? I mean, he might be able to, if you want to learn how to make great diner food, you could probably watch that guy. But if you want to be a gourmet chef, that's not really who you probably should watch, right? So anyway, I'm watching this interview series today, and there was like a bunch of takeaways, One of them was that these guys, I'm telling you, I've studied so many. I probably studied over about 200 or 300, over 300 people this year, right? And what I realized is that these guys, and I'm not taking anything away from them, but these guys most of them aren't really like super smart, right? You think that, okay, they've attained like hundreds of millions into the billions of dollars. These guys are super smart. No, they're not necessarily super smart, but these guys just took a lot of risk and they took massive action. They believed in whatever it was that they were trying to do, or their project, or they believed they had strong belief in themselves, right? And they just wouldn't quit. They just kept going. They wouldn't quit. And that's what really separates them from most everybody else. But it's not that these guys are just so much smarter than everybody else. That's really not what it is. Anyway, the two main takeaways that I took from the interviews that I watched today was, one, that they all took risks. They all were not afraid of risk. So many people are so afraid of risk. They want to stay inside their comfort zone, and they never ever want to jump outside their comfort zone. And I could promise you this, you'll never ever have massive success in your life if you're afraid to take risks. You got to get to a point where you just like eat risk for breakfast. And that's kind of like where I'm at in life. You know what? If I fail, if I mess up, I'll just start over again. Isn't that like what life is about? Life isn't about just tiptoeing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is just about just exploring and seeing what you can do. I mean, to me, that's an exciting life. And I've at the point where like I am completely not afraid to take the right risks. I'm not going to just go out there and run in the middle of the street, right? Run in the middle of, I'm not taking risks like that. That makes no sense. Or I'm not going to take risks like jumping out of an airplane. Nah, that makes no sense to me. But taking risks in going forward in something that I really believe in, something that I'm really passionate about, something that I see myself doing for the rest of my life, absolutely, that's the risk that I want to take, right? The other key takeaway that I took from one of the really, really successful entrepreneurs that I listened to their interview today, and I think this guy is probably worth definitely like in the hundreds of millions. I think his company's probably worth in the billions or whatever. And one of his main key takeaway that he said, always do one more thing. Right? Always do one more thing, right? How many of us, whether if we're at our office, we're at our job, and it's like 4:55, right? And this used to annoy me when I was running my business and I had 13, 14 employees or whatever. And I would see like it's time for them to get ready to leave, right? It'd be like, let's say they were clocking out at 5 o'clock. 4:55, they're all packed up and it's like they're ready at the door, ready to just clock out and hit it, right? Or even I remember back when I was in high school and let's say like 6 period ended at 3 o'clock. 2:55, you're packing up all your stuff, man. You're ready to just hit it. Nah, like always do one more thing. The thing is that you always want something that's going to separate you from the masses. If you want to get average results in life, then yeah, do what average people do. Do what everyone else does. Pack up your stuff a little early so that when that bell rings, when that clock hits 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever time it is, you can hit it. But if you want to stand out from the crowd, always look to do one more thing. If you have your own business, always look to do one more thing. Because I can promise you this, everybody else is going to be ready to hit it, right? But if you make up in your mind that, okay, you've done all that you can do today, but you know what? I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to do one more thing. Those little small one more things will add up into something huge, into something major, right? It's not about, a lot of times people think that they're looking for this one big thing to happen in their life or for them to do one huge thing and think that it's going to take them over the top. It's never that. It's always a bunch of small things, if you think about it, if you do one more thing every single day for 365 days, that's going to end up being something huge, right? So let's say you're in sales, right? And you've called everybody that you can call for that particular day. Figure out one more person that you can call. Just think about one more person that you can call, right? For me, I love to read. I spend a large part of my day reading. I told myself that definitely, at least for the rest of this year, I'm primarily focused on reading and practicing my craft at getting a little bit better. I can read one more chapter a day, or I can read one more, whatever it is per day. Or I've been doing a lot of walking. I've been walking probably about 7 miles a day, anywhere between 5 and 7 miles a day. I could probably walk one more half mile or one more mile. Just always look to do one more thing. And I can guarantee you this, if you do that, it's going to so separate you from everybody else, because everybody else is looking to quit, right? But we don't want to be average. We don't want to be like everybody else. We want to take it up to another notch. And I can promise you this, right? The person that decides to, even if you're working a job, right? And I know that, when quitting time comes, you're ready to hit it. But I guarantee you this, if you're the person that says, you know what, I'm going to stay a little extra, right? And just do one more thing, right? And your boss sees that, that's the quickest way for you to become promoted. That's the quickest way for you to take your life, your position, your career to the next level. Always look to do one more thing. When that man said that in the interview that I listened to today, it was just so profound to me. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. I got to figure out how I can incorporate that into my life. Just one more thing every day. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. I'm not saying that you got to stay at work for an extra 5 hours every day. Just an extra 5 minutes. It's not going to kill you, right? Just give them an extra 5 minutes. Even if you're not getting paid for it, always look to do one more thing, because that's how you gain your competitive advantage. That's how you take yourself to another level. That's how you separate yourself from the rest of the pack. Always look to do one more thing. All right? All right. Until next week.